how are things going? How are you doing, man? And he lowered his sunglasses and he had a little bit of water in his eye and he said, you really want to know? It's not going too great right now. And I said, well, do you have a moment? You want to talk about it? And we sat together on the bench and he revealed his heart and I heard him out and I showed him empathy and interest and compassion and he was blown away. He was just like, you're a stranger. I never met you. I tell you things I don't tell my wife, I don't tell my colleagues, I don't tell my kids. And here we are talking about very deep stuff. How is this possible? I say, you want to know? You want to find out? You want to know the secret? Here's the secret. It's all in here. Okay? You can keep it. It's a gift. If you like, you can give something. You think he took the book? Yes. Oh, absolutely. I was in Mumbai airport just standing in line, you know, before boarding when they used to announce the flights. I saw the lady was just picking up the microphone to announce the flight. And there was a businessman standing behind me. And he looked at me, I was dressed like that. And he looked at me kind of like, and he said it in a very bit derogatory, bit offensive tone. Are you trying to be a monk? And I said, yeah, you know, I'm trying since 30 years. And then I saw she's picking up the mic. So I reached into my bag, I pulled out a Gita, and I said, and this is a gift for you. It's all explained in here, you know? All the teachings, all the wisdom is there. So the guy, he just criticized and offended me, and I gave him a gift. And he was like shocked. How is this possible? How can you just take it and give me a gift? So he kind of felt bad. He kind of felt embarrassed. So he said, can I give you something? And I said, you know, usually we don't take anything. but with you, I will make an exception. And he said, how much? How much do people usually give? I said, well, usually people give their lives. But if you're not ready to do that, how about $1 million? And he was kind of, you know, struggling for words, for breath. So he just gave me 1,000 rupees, you know, which then was the biggest bill they had. And it was okay, you know. But the point I'm trying to make is that if we are ready to be vulnerable, if we are ready to be out there and to put ourselves out there for Krishna, on Krishna's behalf, Krishna will carry what you have and he will preserve it and he will protect you and he will send you all the people that you've been praying for. Yes, I know, I will meet those 5 Bhakta candidates. I will meet those 20 super interested people. And I'm also going to meet those other 100 people who will take a book. They're already out there. Krishna will send them. I just have to be ready to actually deal with them in a nice way. And so after the break, we're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about how to assess our performance, how to know how we're doing, because sometimes we're thinking we're doing very great, but actually may not be that great. So how to assess our performance. We're going to watch a few videos. You like movies? Yes. You sure? Yes. Group will know movies, right? So we're going to learn how to assess ourselves and how to assess others, because it's important. By the way, your homework for tomorrow, you have the skill worksheet on page 31. How good are your skills? How good are you at stopping people? How good are you at asking questions? How good are you at presenting the book? How good are you at getting donations? Give yourself grades. Not now. Page 31. Okay? Don't start now. You can do this later. Okay? This is your homework. So we'll meet you back here at 5:15, and we're going to do a little bit of watching and observing and assessment. Okay? See you back in 15 minutes. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna. Welcome back to the last and final lesson of today about practical book distribution. How to distribute Bhagavad Gita on its own merit. In India, you're very fortunate. This is Bharat. People know about Gita. So you can speak straight shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, and people will be able to appreciate it. Like Rajavidyam Rajaguyam Paritavidanam or Hidayada Hidamasya. You ask people which Gita shloka you know. So people will say some shloka, then you speak about that, and in this way you can connect. You can ask people who is your Ishtadev, which is your temple which you go for worship, and you make connection. So you're very fortunate. Now, when you deal with Indian people, sometimes they will say, I already have this. I already know this. Indian people will not appreciate so much if you're trying to sell them a Bhagavad Gita. So I adopt a different strategy. You want to know how to distribute a Bhagavad Gita to an Indian person? Yes. Okay. Listen and watch closely. This book is not for you. You hear that? This book is not for you. Because you already know this. Your mother knows these shlokas. Your grandmother knows the whole Gita by heart. But I'm giving this book to you to appreciate, because you're coming from a very cultured family. And we're from ISKCON, and we're trying to spread this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to everybody. And we're accepting donations for this good work. Can you please help and give a donation for this work? So, they will all like to contribute and give. So they give you a gift, you give them a gift, and everybody goes home happy. But don't try to sell them something that they think they already have or that they already know. Slightly different approach, slightly different angle, but it works. Like in Japan, for instance. Japanese people are very traditional, they're very much into culture. We got 20 Japanese people right here in the building. You may have seen them, right? So, in Japanese culture, when you see a monk, there's no question of business interaction of any sorts. But people bow down, they give gifts, and they exchange gifts, and they bow down again, and then they move on. So it's just a different culture, it's a different mindset, and you have to be aware of that and validate that. So, presenting Bhagavad Gita on its own merit, give people as much information as you can in very short time, but oftentimes, less is more. Talk less and let them read so that they have more interest, they have more questions, they have more appetite. Don't try to flood them with too much information. So we're going to watch a few videos, but before we get there, I'd like to draw your attention to guidelines of customer care. You remember one of the principles and values, customer care? We should care for the customers. And it's there in your student handbooks. We're not going to get into it in detail, but you can read it and let it roll around your head. I'm just going to mention a couple of points. Only 4% of dissatisfied people will ever complain. 96% of dissatisfied people go away quietly. They will not object, but they will never come back. 91 will never come back. That's pretty heavy, huh? Do you know in any business that repeat customers are the best type of customers? I have people buying from me books every time they meet me. Every time they meet me, they will take something and they'll give something. Just because you've established a relationship. So, there's different surveys of why people get upset, different things you should do or you should not do. So this is your homework, guidelines on customer care, something to be mindful about, because we're devotees. Krishna cares. Devotees should also care. Sometimes you distribute books, but you slightly miss the target, and you're not so happy because the person did not have such a great impression. So then Krishna will let you know through the Super Soul, sometimes through other devotees, sometimes through the people. And it's a work in progress. We have to learn how to take in that feedback. So there's different types of feedbacks that you get. I already mentioned a few of them. First and foremost, Krishna, the Lord in the heart. Does He ever give you feedback? There is a saying that many people talk to God, but very few ever listen to Him. You may be talking to God every day, but are you ever actually listening to Him? What He wants to tell you? As Sankirtan devotees, it's imperative for us that we actually tune into and become introspective and actually hear Paramatma. What is Krishna trying to tell me here? Are you trying to do that in your Sankirtan? To be guided by Krishna? That's blissful, right? When Krishna moves you along and He gives you the words and He sends you people. So, then there's other types of assessment. There's assessment by our teachers, by our seniors, our authorities. What other types of assessments are there? It's not in the handbook. Ourselves. Ourselves. Is it important to be able to assess yourself? Yes. Yes? No? Confused? No idea? No opinion? All these student handbooks, they're here for self-assessment. This is adult education. It's up to you what you get out of it. So you do your homework, you study, you extract the essence, you see how it applies to you. This is not third grade, you know, where somebody will watch over you and dictate you what to do. You have to be self-motivated. So self-assessment is a big part of that. That we're able to introspect and to see, how am I doing? What's another type of assessment? Peers. Do you have any peers? Who are your peers? The people here in the classroom. Who else is your peers? Friends. Who else is your peers? Anyone who can challenge you is your peer. Did you know that you should have 20% of association with seniors, 20% with juniors, and 60% with peers? 60% you should associate with people in your own bracket, in your own age group or svabhav. So peer assessment, very important. And you should listen to them. Why? Because they're your friends, they care about you, they're close to you, they can actually see what oftentimes we cannot see. And they can afford to tell us what we don't want to hear because there is some friendly relationship going on. Who else will give you assessment? The people you meet on the streets, they will give you assessment. But they're just meat-eating karmis, right? How can they know? How can they tell? How do they know anything? How can they give you assessment?
Super soul is in the heart. Oh yeah. Super soul is in their heart.
The super soul is sitting within their heart because Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. Krishna will speak through them. Have you ever been shocked by a person telling you the truth on the street? Has it ever happened to you?
Yes.
Not yet, huh? You haven't been on the street much. You will be amazed how people hit it right on the nail, you know, like right on the dot. They tell you exactly what you need to hear. That's why Sankirtan is the school of life. Once I was in Australia and I was distributing books outside a mall, and a young couple came out, and I was wearing a polo shirt, you know, with a neck, and I had it buttoned up all the way to the top. And they were looking at me and they were like, "You have to open this. This doesn't look very comfortable." And I could have said, hey, come on, what are you talking about? You know, let's not talk about this shirt, let's talk about this book. But no, I just opened the top button and they bought the book. So you just have to take it. When people give you feedback, you just have to take it. Don't fight back. When feedback comes, don't fight back. So people will tell you all kinds of stuff. And you have to be able to extract the essence. And leave the rest. Don't get distracted. Don't get disturbed. Don't get depressed. So, customer care. Take in the feedback and absorb the essence. What we're going to do right now is we're going to watch a few videos. And I'm going to ask you, what did you see and what did you hear? Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Let's look a little less. This okay? Better? So this is Brigupati Prabhu in LAX in the airport in 2003.
Sir, excuse me, are you a passenger? Yeah, you're on a flight here. When you get back, I saw that. Are you a monk? I never had it. Buddhist monk? This monk. Very nice. Here, let me sign this for you. This is on meditation and yoga. And that's almost a picture of Buddha. Okay. We don't sell these, we just ask for a donation. Could we give a donation to help out? We just ask for a donation from the heart. You know, you understand, right? Could you put in a donation to help out? Just look. There's not good memories. Get a dollar or two or something like that. Very hard, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
What did you notice? Did you notice anything? Confidence, control the conversation. Dress. How is he dressed? Professional. He looks good, right? Yeah. Yeah, your hand up, or you're just exercising. He put the book in the hand. What else?
Give anything from the heart.
Give anything from the heart, you know? He was mentioning and motioning.
He was speaking on his topic.
He was relating the book on his topic. This is a Buddhist monk. And he said, look here, this picture. This is almost a picture of Buddha, right? He made a connection between the book and the person. What about his body language? You know, Brigu is a tall person. So, you saw how he's bowing down? You saw how he was like, you know, showing humility and empathy just by his body language? What else? Yeah, he went even lower. You know, he didn't like, okay, I'm going to tell you how it is, son, all right? No, this guy's in robes. This guy's a monk with his disciple, who probably regards him as a saint. So you have to be respectful. It's from Thailand. You have to appreciate their culture. And did he make an impression? Did he make a connection? Yeah. You know, he turned to the other guy, and the other guy was kind of like, so he went back to the monk, and he asked him, and he gave. He went into his robes, and he got some money out, and he gave a donation. What else did you observe? What else did you notice?
Eye contact.
Eye contact. Very strong eye contact, right? He was right there in the moment. Like, okay, you're not getting away here. I got you, right? This is the airport. There's a lot of random moving objects. There's announcements. But these people were spellbound. They were captured by his attentiveness.
He used closed questions.
He used closed questions. What was the closed questions he used?
I am a passenger. I was a passenger.
Are you a passenger?
Yeah, yes.
And it's obvious, yes. So the person, they say yes. So closed-ended questions can be great if the answer is yes. What else did you do?
Very quickly. He went very quickly.
He did it very quickly. If you're in an airport, people got places to go, they got flights to catch. You can't say, okay, just gonna take 15 minutes, okay? All right, so listen up. No, they don't have 15 minutes. They may not even have 15 seconds. All you have is one moment. How long do you have? 1 moment. Animesh. 1 moment. And if you're not attentive, that moment is gone. And that person may just disappear into oblivion, and you may never see them again. And before you fall asleep at night, Krishna will tell you, why did you let that person get away? It was a nice person, but you spaced it out. You just lost it because you were not attentive. So Krishna consciousness is really about being conscious of Krishna. But before being Krishna conscious, you have to be conscious. You have to actually be awake. You have to be present in the moment. And that happens when you understand the sense of urgency. Srila Prabhupada had a very great sense of urgency. He said, I want to spread Krishna consciousness everywhere at once. That's a pretty big sense of urgency. You know the burning house analogy? Can somebody tell us the burning house analogy? You got a mic right there.
So when you're trying to communicate with someone and your excuse is we don't speak the same language, the example could be given if your house is burning down.
If it happens to be your house is on fire, what do you do?
And you figure out how to communicate with anyone around you who might be able to help.
With anyone, even if they don't speak your language. And we are in a similar scenario. That even though we may speak the similar language, oftentimes it may be hard to communicate to people. But if you actually feel this house is on fire, people are dying right now, they're being crushed by the wheel of time, and if I don't do anything to help them, they'll just go down in flames. You will figure a way how to communicate that message to them. Did you sense that sense of urgency that Brigu had? Yes. Was there a sense of urgency?
Yes. Yes.
He was fully determined that this person needs to take this book. So you can see this takes practice. He's been doing it for 40 plus years. So we're going to see some more.
Somebody else. We just drive that. You get a copy of the sign up for it now, or just once? It looks like it again. Please on meditation, I'll do that because I don't hold up. This helps you with stress, right? You know, the numbers, that's fine. We're not saying just ask for a donation, could you a foreign donation like that? We're not sure. Money?
What happened? What did you see?
Something like he made himself seem important by signing it. He's already
Microphone?
I don't know what the right word for it is, but by signing it, he's sort of placing himself as someone significant. Already sort of placing himself like
Yes.
important in some way.
He signed his name in the book.
Otherwise it wouldn't matter if
Okay.
anybody's not.
Thank you. What
He's
else?
very confident.
Open.
Super confident, yes.
Open-ended question.
What were the open-ended questions?
Excuse me, are you guys just coming in or dropping someone off? Or something?
Are you traveling or just dropping somebody
Yes.
off? Yeah. Open-ended, giving different options. Okay, what else? You can just shout.
He used humor. He said, you know what a monk is, not a punk or a skunk.
Yeah, play on words, monk, punk, skunk. You know, people like riddles. It captures the mind like that. What else?
You guys look too peaceful to be married. He said something.
Are you guys married or just friends?
And you look too peaceful to be married. He said that.
You look too happy to be married. You know what happened? She just walked off. You saw that? Very risky business. Be careful. Don't go there. He pulled it off because the guy was kind of, you know, not bothered by it, and she just took off. But it can backfire if you say stuff like that. So usually not good. Don't get into personal relationship type of stuff. It's thin ice. It can blow up in your face. It can ruin your sale. What else did you see?
He's making a very special expression in his face. Very interesting expression. It is honest.
What kind of expression?
Like, you know, he was asking a question and his question was, you know, like, I ask you, I want your answer, something like that. You know, is there any problems?
He's working with a lot of body language.
Yes.
You saw how he's frowning and moving his eyebrows and making faces, and very expressive type of presentation, captivating. It really attracts and captures the mind. Any other points that you observe? Microphone behind you. Please speak into the mic. We have almost 100 people watching this online. They want to hear what you have to say.
Very first, he handed the books.
Into the mic, loud and clear, please.
Very fast, he handed over the books.
Very fast, he handed over the book, yes. Because an airport is a very fast place, so there's not much time to waste. So you greet them and immediately you hand the book to them. Very good.
You asked about the nationality from England.
From England. And then what was the next follow-up question?
Where is it?
From London. The guy said yes. So always have a follow-up question. Don't just ask them, okay, what do you work? And the guy says, I'm a carpenter. And then you go off to the next topic, off to the next topic. No, then you ask them, so are you the boss? Are you just a worker? Are you good at what you do? Do you like it? You know, you can get into topics. Like you were saying, you do farming. Do you have cows? No cows. You do agriculture, crops. What kind of crops do you grow? Vegetables. What type of vegetables?
Green veggies, beet.
Green. Okay. Very nice. So, you understand when you ask questions, you have to have some continuity, some momentum. What else did you observe?
This is evolution.
Just because it's a very quick environment, so whatever they give you, you have to be happy with that and accept it. And just give them the book. And some will give big, some will give small, some will give medium, and it evens out. He was detached. Just take it. What else? You got the mic. You're the man.
He was very quick. Like he didn't give them much time to think.
There was not as much time as to blink an eyelid. Did you notice how smooth this was? This was one flowing motion, one swoop, one go, from beginning to end. The guy had no chance. He had to take the book. This is professional. This is really good. Of course, there's always some room for improvement, and we're not meant to criticize. We're just analyzing here in order to see, you know, what works and what doesn't work so great, so we can extract the essence for ourselves. Yes?
May I ask a question?
Sure.
To that? So I would imagine in that scenario when someone kind of works you through a conversation so quickly, you could feel a little bit afterwards like what just happened, and there could be a bad taste in your mouth. Does this happen, or what do we do?
Generally not, because if the book distributor has done it in all sincerity and in all humility and in a service attitude, the person can sense that this person had my best self-interest at heart. He was not a con artist. It was not about money. It was not about something else, but this person was actually sincere. People will notice that, even if it goes very fast. So it's not a matter of speed of interaction. It's a matter of actual sincerity and actual commitment. Okay, we had today Vijay, so we would like to see something from Vijay. Okay, watch closely and listen carefully. You gotta have your eyes open, otherwise you won't know.
Excuse me, guys. Who's the most entitled between the three of you?
That's what it was.
Look at this all over, guys. Look what's here. Does he just has a soul that's going through the body and whatever to you old age? He's been there a lot of meditation. That's the mission. You know Shiva, huh? Wow. He leads it. We have people in suffering conditions and good books. That's it on the Bhagavad Gita. The first chapter is like an introduction. The second chapter starts the teaching, so don't get stuck on the first chapter. And the Electoral Temple is in the back of the book also. Okay? Thank you. Bye.
What happened? Microphone on. Just leave it on. Up, up, up.
First of all, he break the ice-breaking conversation.
How?
And through question, answering question, then showing people.
What did he ask? How did he break the ice? Are you guys friends? So who's the most intelligent among you? That breaks the ice. You know, people start laughing. When you have a group of students, I always ask them, so who's the smartest here? And they all start pointing at each other. Then I ask, okay, who's got the money? And they start pointing at each other like that, you know? You have to capture their attention. Otherwise, they're students. They're all over the place. They're distracted. But if you know how to break the ice, you can capture people's attention. What else did he do?
Showing picture.
Show it in the picture. Okay, soul going through the body. What else? Something in the back. Shakatari, what did you see?
Thank you. He shortly explained what is about Bhagavad Gita.
He actually gave him Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell, in very sutra form, like a small condensed version. He spoke about the Gita. Very beautiful. Yes?
He appreciated when the person say, I know Shiva.
Yeah, the person said, you know, Shiva. And then he said, hey, he knows this, you know? This guy knows this. And then immediately that person felt special. He felt recognized. He felt appreciated. And he was the one who gave the donation. He took the book. What else happened? Parameshwar?
So he showed to me at least, and probably then they felt it, that this guy is not after money. He really cares, because at the end he was saying, hey, don't be stuck on the first chapter, and teaching start at chapter 2 or something like that. Like he's sharing more than after he gets the donation.
Under promised, over fulfilled. Always make him feel that they got more than what they paid for. Madhagovinda, you had a point? Did you see that one guy with the phone who went off to the side just talking on his phone? How did he deal with him? He just let him do his thing, you know. If somebody is busy doing something else, just let him do something else. Just don't bother about it, you know. There's different strategies you can use when you're dealing with groups of people. It's a different ball game if you have one-on-one or you have groups of people. Often if somebody wanders off, let them wander off. Except if it's families. And either the wife or the husband wanders off, because you know they'll have the money. So don't let him get away. Call him back. And say, no, you come back here. We need you right now. Okay, anything else that you saw? Yes, Brandon.
He was extremely confident. He was very confident.
He was super confident, cool as a cucumber in an icebox. Right? He was totally chill. Like not agitated or nervous or insecure at all. You saw how he stood there? You know, okay. You know, we're showing this. You saw his hand gestures, how he was explaining? Like, hey, you know, this is my spot, and this is what we do, okay? I'm going to show this to you. Not in a derogatory or in an arrogant way, but just in a very confident, in a very, you know, Krishna conscious way. Okay, next.
Excuse me? I'm in California, where no way. Good. Hey. Are you students, teachers, or musicians? Students. What's the most intelligent between you?
Yeah.
It's one of the big classes. That was really
I'm sorry about the video quality.
Well, that's the Sanskrit there. But it was one of the big classes. There you go. But I don't know if you've heard books, right?
Yeah.
We have people in suffering conditions who fill books, so all the nice people give a donation. They give a donation to help out. And these are for you. Okay. Yeah, let's see if we have 100% so for a good cause, and you have good hearts. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. All the board together, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You take that, so you all have one now. You have a wonderful day. Yeah. The address to our temple is in the back of the book, but we also have a restaurant here. So come and visit.
What happened? It was always amazing. There is always more to learn. Okay, what else?
You got rejected by the first guy, eh? Did you get rejected by the first guy? Did he turn his back and made him walk around?
Yeah, the first guy just didn't respond. He just kind of
And
avoided
he
it.
ignored him and then he had to
Yeah.
submit or something or other.
Hey, he had to comply with his friends because his friends kind of showed interest. He came around. Yeah, he brought him over in. What else happened?
Use the right words like suffering people, printing books. Like
Helping people in suffering condition.
Yeah, so it's like a good way to just get donations out of people.
Yeah.
Be like generous.
Giving them knowledge, helping
like
them
a
out.
social cause, so they just want to make donations.
Yeah. What else did he do? Microphone? I know it's nice if you have a mic. Sometimes you have to pass it.
It was amazing how he was preparing for the next step. He was talking with them, but still checking for the picture and ready to make the next team to start a new.
He did not have to think, okay, what's next? What I'm going to do next? Because he who hesitates is lost. As soon as you start thinking, the whole thing falls apart. No thinking. You go straight from intelligence to action. You skip the mind. Can you do that? Is it possible? Have you ever had moments of experience when you skip the mind? That's when you're actually truly Krishna conscious. You know, there's a saying that when you experience ecstasy, don't reveal it to anyone, not even to your own mind. You know why? Because your mind will profane it. Your mind will make it mundane. Your mind will try to cheat you. Has it ever happened to you that you were showing a book to somebody and the person started paying attention and you were starting to think, oh yeah, he's going to take it. He's going to give me a good donation. You know, this is going to be great. This is going to be wonderful. Maybe even takes the whole set. Has your mind ever talked to you like that? Yeah? And what was the result after that? And usually they said, nah, I don't want it, you know. It's not. And they just walk away. So don't let your mind cheat you. You have to be conscious of your faculties. You can go straight from intelligence to action. You skip the mind. Mind is not required in this interaction. It doesn't mean that you're a mindless robot. It doesn't mean that you don't have the ability to think, but you don't speculate. You don't hesitate. He who hesitates is lost. What else did you observe?
He invited him to the temple.
He invited him to the temple. Yeah. So that's like a value-added benefit. You know, we have a temple. What else did he say? And a restaurant. Yeah. So he was, you know, very welcoming, very friendly. You should come and see us. So they're like, okay, hey, this person wants to see us again. Hey, that's nice. You saw how he gave actually a book to each and every person, and everybody gave something.
Yes, so who is the most intelligent?
Yeah, who is the most intelligent? And they were kind of, what you talking about? This is, you know? Yeah. So then he said, oh, that's a tough one to figure out, huh? So he let him off the hook. He didn't like pressurize them on the point. What else happened? Microphones, please.
When they asked that how much to give, so he didn't know that this is the printing or something price. He said, like, to general people gave 100 cents or something. This much money, so
he gave them an indication and they complied. You heard that part when he said, oh, he showed them the Sanskrit, and he said, oh, you're probably a little rusty on the Sanskrit, right? You probably can't read this here.
Yes.
So he made a joke, but he didn't like rub it in. So, how do you like his presentation?
Very natural.
It's excellent. Okay, what else we got? We got our friend here, Jagorama. I really like that one. I hope you like it too. I'm sorry, my hard drive is full and I can't copy more stuff on it, so I'm running it from my from my memory stick, and that's why it's a little tricky.
Excuse me, miss. Do you guys speak Spanish or English? Mucho gusto. Is this your family? Yeah. Do you get a coffee? We're printing books from India on spiritual knowledge to reduce stress and keep the mind peaceful. Have you ever heard of stress before?
Yeah.
Everybody's heard of stress, right? I'll show you a nice picture real fast. It's from thousands and thousands of years ago from the monks. Basically, it's talking about how life's meant to understand who we really are as a person, you know? Not just a changing body, but the soul. You guys like to think about life sometimes? Okay. Yeah. We just would be our time because we don't sell them. We're monks. What's it with that? Could you guys throw in a donation and help with the printing and also announce contribution for the What's your final today, bro? Yeah, it goes around, runs around. I can do the change. It's fine. Whatever you like to do. No problem. Can you guys throw in a few hundred too? You guys are to our vegetarian restaurant in town. We'd like you to visit us. We try to 5 or 10, whatever you can afford. veggie cookbook and this one, I think. That's my favorite. Because it's all different ideas of the spiritual masters of India. Thank you. Gracias. Hare Krishna.
Okay, what happened? What do you remember?
Do you guys speak Spanish or English?
Yeah, you could see. I mean, they're Latinos. You can see, right? So, what? You guys speak Spanish or English? So, he gave them options.
And then he responded in their language.
And he said a few words in Spanish, like, you know, something. What else?
I think in the end, they told him Hare Krishna. Or he told them.
No, he was saying.
Oh,
what else?
He engaged all three of them.
He engaged all three of them. He wasn't just dealing with one person. He kept everybody busy, engaged. Yes, very important. When you deal with families or groups, don't just ignore one person. If you ignore one person, that person is the one who's going to ruin it for you. I guarantee you that. So give attention to everybody, make eye contact, show them appreciation. If they don't want to talk to you, that's fine. But still, give them some attention. Yes, Warren?
A lot of people are mentioning like hundreds of dollars, so a small donation doesn't seem so much or something.
Yeah.
They mention a large amount of money as a joke, but then a little bit.
Yeah, to the boys, you know, the mother is obviously the one. These are teenagers. So the mother is the one who's going to give the donations, but he's turning to the boys and he said, can you guys also throw in a few hundred, you know?
And the last guy, he also said something about 100. Usually it's people give about 100 or something like this.
So that was in Sweden. And 100 krona, that's different currency. So it's not that much. But it's relatable. So the mom at the end, she gave a couple of dollars. She didn't give big, but he still gave them 2 books. And, you know, they had a positive impression. They felt like they got more than they gave. They were happy. What else did you see? Thank you. Any other point?
You invited them to the restaurant?
Invited them to the restaurant, yes. What else? In the back. Did you see? Did you hear?
I think he gave them like really proprietary book because it's a family, so he gave them higher taste in vegetarian cooking. Because it's like the mother and she probably cooks for the kids. So he gave like proprietary book to them.
He gave them something that they could appreciate.
Yeah.
He related the books to them and he gave them what they, you know, made them happy. So that's important. Don't just give people like 5 books and then take them all back and give them a small book and send them on their way. You know, that's not a good way how to do things. Sometimes you may get a little less, sometimes you get a little more, but make sure that when people walk away, they feel they got more than they paid for. It's a very important move.
He also mentioned his personal appreciation for one of the books which he gave, like mentioned this is my favorite book and
yeah, make it personal. This is my favorite book. I like it a lot. He's a smooth operator. Okay, we see another one from Jagaranga.
Okay, do you like spiritual books?
Not really too much.
Okay, maybe we'll meet you when you're more spiritual. You were here? Showing these to the people, teachers from the Himalayas. They're monsters, you know. 10 books from Vedas, ancient teachings. You guys look like you've been on a vacation. You look very peaceful. Keep the books with you because we pass out all of our samples to the nice people. As monks, people just give donations for helping out. My name is Rolando. What's yours? Malcolm? Could you guys want a donation and keep the books with you? I can give $2. Yeah. $2 more. Sure. The back of the book shows a list of all our centers around the world. So when you travel, you can visit us. This is a present. Do you like to cook? The vegetarian part of the teachings. Yeah.
of humor.
Yeah, good mix of humor. What else?
He praised him, appreciated.
He appreciated him. How did he do that?
He said in Mayapur, he said, you know, you are looking so pure.
He looks so pure.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is like a huge guy, you know? So, but he appreciated it. He shook hands with them. It was very personal.
From the beginning, no?
Yeah.
Quickly.
What else? He made a strong connection. You sense that, how he made a strong connection with them? He was really personable. Really like heart to heart. Okay, where you from? And where you going? What you doing? Like really caring. Yes.
Yeah, he made like a friend connection with these people.
He's a friendly fellow. Like the kind of person you would like to talk to. Yes.
Okay, he kept the mantra in mind when there was nobody to after. Like he was saying the mantra.
When no one was there, he just kept on chanting the mantra. Then there was a person who walked by and he asked her, do you work here? Because in the airport, you don't approach the workers. You don't really deal with the workers. So people look like they're officials, they got uniforms. You just ask them, do you work here? And then, oh, okay, have a nice day. Because we're only, you know, showing them to the passengers.
He didn't push the first person who said.
The first person, the lady who was there with her luggage, you saw she was not interested. What do you tell her?
Next time you're more interested.
Oh, maybe next time. Okay? So don't just drop people like hot potatoes. Always leave the door open. Always leave the door open. Always tell them, okay, next time, I'll meet you again. Maybe you take it then. Thanks for taking your time. Thanks for showing your interest. Maybe when you're more spiritual. So she can feel bad, you know, that, oh, I didn't get a door for her. Pretty good, huh? Yes, Mark.
Is it appropriate to talk about the issue that this is like when Vijay set up some rules, like you don't say we're passing these out or these are for you, if we're not really going to give it to them if they don't have donation.
Yeah, this is 2003. I think this is before
that time.
Before that time.
I just wouldn't want anybody to adopt that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's room for improvement. Very valid point. Thank you, Parmeshwar. He's one of our Sankirtan leaders in North America. Very conscientious. Don't just tell people we're passing these out, and then people think it's for free, and they don't want to give anything, and they object that you don't give it for free because you said we're passing these out. So you can say we're showing these today. We're presenting this to people like that. But don't make people think that you're giving them a free gift and at the end you hassle them for money. Because that's just not the right way how to go about it. Okay? So be conscientious about that. Other points that you observed? I like his style, you know, he's just a friendly fellow. He's just he's cool, you know. He's chill, yeah. He's a person you would like to hang out with. So, what else we got here?
They were traveling, so he also mentioned at the end of the book you will find Vaishnava center, so you can visit there and you can connect with the book also. There is some things there for us.
Absolutely.
And he didn't put any pressure on them whatsoever.
Yeah.
When he was asking for a donation, he brought up humor, so it wasn't as, they weren't tense about it. He said, when you're feeling generous, you give a couple thousand.
Correct. Now, you're going to see something from silent, but we always have to observe. give you an idea how long it takes to have an interaction. Sometimes you think you need to speak to people for half an hour or for 20 minutes, but if you're out in the public space, any interaction can take anywhere from between 20 seconds to 2 minutes. Usually not longer than 3 minutes. 5 minutes is a very long interaction. Just to give you an indication. Anything that you observed, that you noticed here in this little silent movie?
We went on the other side of the river.
Yeah.
To talk with other guys.
Yeah. You have to actually move around to meet the people where they're at. You can't always expect them to come to you. What else?
Maybe less than 15 seconds, 20 seconds elections already. You ask for election. Less than 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Less than 20 seconds, maybe more than you're already giving an election for them.
Yes, possible to give people books very fast and take donations. It's not a problem if you're convinced what you're doing. We got one here and then Warren over here.
Yeah, tagged the band. Like as soon as the guy got out of the car, he was there.
You have to be right there in the moment. If people come and they park their car, you have very short time span before. Because once they lock the car, they walk away. So you have a couple of seconds when they get out of the car to give them the book.
When you approached, you seemed really like either happy or just very friendly, and not scary in any way. Just very
relaxed.
Yeah, almost smiling, almost really happy with yourself as you walk around.
Yep. Anything else? You like these videos? You get something out of this, or is it just good to pass time? No. We were distributing books in front of a concert, and there was a bunch of punks, like hoodlums, bundas, and they were just out there to party, just out to get drunk. Drug guys and Luddites, good for nothing people, so to speak. But you will see how the devotees, because they're merciful, they're compassionate, they can even take people of low-grade character, and they can attract them to the holy name.
Actually, it's a movie. Yeah, it's a movie, it's a video. Can you say something for the monks? I want you to say something for the monks. Say something for the monks? You repeat after me. Repeat after you. Can I just say what comes to my mind? No, you have to repeat after me. All right, go. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Krishna. 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 Krishna.
When we came back out of the concert, 4 hours later, these guys were still on the parking lot chanting Hare Krishna. So this is the power of the holy name. Now you may think, whatever, these people are not qualified, these people are not in the right state of mind, but because the devotee tried to give them the gift, the soul responded, because the soul knows this is good for me, I like this, even though there might be so much confusion around it. If you feel hot, you can open the door behind you and there will be a little bit of air. That will typical all the college kids at the concert. We meet them, we give them books, we explain a few things. We ask them some questions. Any observations? What just happened?
Fist bump them all.
I greeted everybody by doing the fist bump, you know, which is in their mindset. This is the way how you greet them. I put books in everybody. What else?
Lots of hand motion.
A lot of hand motion because, you know, they're into that kind of thing. That's the kind of music. That's the kind of stuff they watch, you know, a lot of hand movements. What else?
You made him smile, you made him connection with the guy in the life.
I made them all smile, I made a connection with them, I told them a little bit about the books. What else?
A general question, are you using more soft copies than hard copies, books?
Yes, because in concerts, the soft copy books, they're smaller and people can put them in their pockets and they're less bulky. And for me, they're less heavy to carry around. But some devotees prefer hardbacks. It's a personal preference. Hardcover books have a lifespan which is way above and beyond the softcover book. Softcover books within 3 to 5 years are gone. They don't exist anymore. But hardcover books, have you seen the Bhagavatams, the original Bhagavatams? After 40 years, they're still good. After 4 decades. Softcover books, 3 to 5 years, they're gone. So if you want to distribute for longevity, you distribute hardcover books. But if you want to give books to many people, to school kids, you want to give them at any price, at any cost, then small books or soft books are easier. What else? You saw the group of friends here?
How do you see that preaching to the teenagers or age-related people?
They're all going to a concert. They have a concert pass. They're going there. So they're old enough to spend their own money. It's not like you're going to the kindergarten or to the middle school and you're dealing with, you know, minors. So these kids are going out to have fun and to spend money.
Sometimes in different countries, the age, like between the young people, the age is hard to tell. Sometimes in different countries, like in New Zealand, young people look old enough, like people under.
But they're not.
But they're not, but they look old enough, so you're trying to sell them a book because you think they're like 17 or
What I usually do is I ask them, are you old enough to buy a book? Can you do this, you know? Are you allowed to do that? And they will tell you yes or no. So you just have to go by that. I mean, sometimes you notice, you can recognize before. And if there's a doubt, then just say, no, it's okay, you know?
But the question is it okay to sell books to 40-year-old kids as well? If you can, like small, you know.
Absolutely, but you have to be ready to just be very generous and just give them the book, you know, even for free or for a few coins or, you know, I tell people anything you like to give, even, you know, do you have $1 or do you have 1 coin? And even homeless people, even beggars, they will say, a coin, yeah, sure, I'll give you a coin. And then, you know, they usually give you a pocket full of change or they give you a few quarters, so they still give you enough to cover the cost of the book. But if the person is like timid, shy, unsure, doubtful, intimidated, then no. Then don't give them the book. Does that work, Parmeshwar?
That sounds good.
Oh,
If there's parents around, you better watch out.
Yeah, if their parents are, watch out. But if they're out, you know, going to the movies and you know, doing all the stuff kids do, they've got their own money to spend, obviously they can buy a book. Now you saw here at the end, there was 4 of them, and they all got books, but I said, if Usually we get about 5 a book, but if somebody wants to be generous, they can give 20, and then that will be for everybody. So the boy with the black shirt, he just pulled a 20 and he handed me 20. And he was like super happy. Hey, I paid for our whole bunch. I gave for everybody. So give people the opportunity to be generous. They will take you up on that. They'll like that. Because that's how friends roll, right? You go out with your friends, and it's not everybody has to pay for their own food. One person pays for everybody, then the next time the other person pays for everybody. So in this way, give them a chance. Now, if you don't know what's happening, sometimes, just to give you an idea what's happening in these concerts, because you may think, oh, you know, in India, it's all like pranams, namaskar, sadhu, you know, touch your feet, give you the money, throw some flowers. But when you're in the West, it's a slightly different ballgame. It's a slightly different scenario. So just to give you an idea of what goes on in these concerts, I just give you a small little preview. This is like Kurukshetra, you know, people just jumping at each other and fighting each other, and they call it music and enjoyment, you know, basically. They're very confused, and we go to these places and we give people books before they come in and when they're roaming around. Now, if you like humor, you will like this one.
It's a picture in some paper, perhaps you remember, from Montreal, here I don't remember. One old lady and her husband sitting face to face. The lady is requesting the husband, chant, 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 and the husband is answering, can't, can't, can't. Requesting everyone, please chant, chant, chant. And they are replying, can't, can't. This is the misfortune. This is the misfortune. So still, it is our duty to make all these misfortune and unfortunate creatures fortunate. That is our duty. We therefore go to the street and chant. Always is a can't. We go and chant. And somehow or other, we put on some reserve bag in his hand. He will become fortunate. He will not squander his hard-earned money in so many nasty, sinful ways. And if you purchase it one go, no man what is the price, his money is properly utilized. The beginning of Krishna consciousness is there because he is giving some money, hard-earned money. For this Krishna consciousness movement, he is giving some spiritual profit. He is not doing, he is getting some spiritual profit. Therefore, our business is somehow or other bringing everyone in this Krishna consciousness moment, he will be proud.
Jai Prabhupada. And let's see what Prabhupada has got to say about when people ask you this question, where do you get the money? Or what do you do with the money?
Jesus Christ was crucified.
Watch Prabhupada's eyes.
So, if this is the material world, we'll find all this has no essence somewhere. It must cost you a lot of money to get traveling around the world all the time. Yes, we have our two branches all over the world. Where do you get the money? Get money from God. We especially get money by selling our books. You have seen our books. We are selling, according to Indian exchange, we are selling about 25 to 30,000 rupees worth books daily.
Saw Prabhupada was cool. Now we get money from God. Okay, there's another one.
We can spend all the money of the world. Unfortunately, not give us.
We can spend all the money of the world. Unfortunately, you do not give us the money. So Prabhupada had a great sense of humor. One time, there was an Indian gentleman, and Srila Prabhupada wanted to give him Krishna consciousness, but that gentleman had objection. So the man said, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna for free. Why are you charging money for it? Do you people ever ask that? Yeah. So then, Prabhupada, he returned the challenge, and he said, where did Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita? And the man said, Kurukshetra. Prabhupada said, yes. So, Kurukshetra, Delhi, 50 rupee transport charge. And the man said, okay, yeah, sure. Transport charge? Yeah, I'll pay transport charge. I'm not going to pay for the book, but I'll pay for the transport charge. Okay? Sometimes people say, I'm not going to buy your book. Then you ask them, well, can you give something for me, for the good cause? You know, we're really trying to help people. Can you help out? Yeah, sure, I'll give you something. So they'll give you something, and then you say, can I give you a gift? Yeah, sure, I'll take a gift. You know? So, yena tena prakarena. Mana Krishna, he said, in whichever way you can get people to engage in devotional service. Sometimes all people can do the first time they see you is just smile. They're not ready to talk to you, they just smile. Next time, maybe they say hello. Next time, maybe they touch the book. Have you had the experience of how people have to have several interactions before they build up the courage to actually take the book? So you have to have that kind of patience. When Prabhupada went out to distribute his books, he was going to tea stalls. Now, nowadays the equivalent to like a Starbucks, like a coffee shop, you know, where people sit and they drink tea and coffee and they read newspapers and now they're on their phones. Imagine Prabhupada going into a Starbucks and going table to table to people and show them his magazine and convince them to give a few coins for taking that magazine. Prabhupada was going by himself in the heat of Delhi. How hot is Delhi? Super hot. 50 degrees Celsius. Like so hot, Prabhupada got heat stroke. He swooned and fainted. People had to rescue him. People don't know how much austerity Prabhupada performed. He would commute from Vrindavan to Delhi to print his books. And then he went tea stall to tea stall to distribute his magazines. He went office to office, shop to shop, traveling around, soliciting donations to print his books. Because there was no one. There was nobody to help him. Took him 8 years to publish the first canto. 3 volumes, 8 years. And he realized, I don't have enough time. My time is running out. He's almost 70 years of age. He didn't know how much time he had. So that's why he went to America. And within 10 years, he published all these books. And he recruited all kinds of people, and he trained them and he empowered them to take this message far and wide. So in a similar way, we're counting on all of you to take this message far and wide and distribute it to all the people that you meet, and in this way parampara, or the disciplic succession, will go on. Because you're going to go to all parts of the globe and you can spread this knowledge to others. So today you saw a little bit about the interaction that's happening, mostly dealing with principles. You'll have to adjust the details according to time, place, and circumstance. And that's perfectly permissible. Any questions? Yes?
If, like, you distribute Bhagavad Gita and the person doesn't give another donation, for example, like $1 invest, or, and is it okay to, like, kind of say, okay, let me then give you, like, smaller book?
No. You can ask them, would you like to take this? Not, okay, just take this and give me the big one, because people feel cheated. But you can ask them, maybe you don't have that much time or that much interest. Would it be adequate? Would you be happy to take this small book? And if they say, no, I want the big one, then let him have it. He gave $1. It's okay. Somebody else gives more. You know, we're putting out books in so many ways. Just leave them with a good impression. Remember Vijay this morning, the golden rule? Leave everybody with a good impression. Yes?
Regarding door to door,
yes.
So I goes to the door, but inside they say nobody is there, then what should we do?
We'll talk tomorrow about door to door. Okay? What else? Okay. We have books of Prabhupada in Mayapur in Arabic and Farsi languages. Who needs them, please contact Chakratari and Gopal Govinda Ramdas. They're right here, okay? So Arabic books exist, all right? We have books in so many languages. We're very fortunate, and they're available. And you can also contact your local BBT trustee, your local BBT office through your temple. It's very wonderful. We're blessed with books in so many languages. Tomorrow we're going to speak about different venues and places and situations where we present Prabhupada's books and how to deal in these situations. We're going to hear from more experts. We're going to have some presentations by different devotees. What else we got? Different challenges that we meet. Internal and external. We're going to speak about lifestyle, standards, and sustainability, and sources of strength and inspiration. So that's on the menu for tomorrow. For today, I hope you saw a few things, heard a few things, experienced a few things that gave you something to chew on, that you can take away with you. Thank you for your kind attention. I would like you to be back here tomorrow morning at 10:29 for the third day of our book distribution course. And as your homework, please remember the skill worksheet and also reading the section on customer cares. Also the aims of book distribution in the beginning, just up to the section where we are now. You can read through all the different pages. These are your student handbooks. You can note in them, you can mark in them, you can draw in them. These are yours to keep. Yes?
Also learning verse 10:10 and approaching 5 peoples.
Learning 10:10 and?
Approaching 5 peoples. conversation?
Yeah, just start talking to 5 strangers, okay? That's your homework for tomorrow. Thank you very much. All goes to Prabhupada. This job, it was the job, and done